Abba are an unstoppable force in the music world, producing over 400 million tracks and giving us timeless hits like Dancing Queen and Mamma Mia. But behind the efficiency and chart-topping hits lies a story full of emotion, surprise and whimsy. How can a song that has nothing on it be destroyed by the sun? Abba is one of those songs you can't talk about without feeling a little bit good. If you grew up listening to their songs or even discovered them years later, you must have felt the power they brought to the music world. But how did a group of 4 friends from Black Springs take over the world with a shadow? It wasn't just luck. It was the perfect shadow of power, timing, and a little bit of satisfaction. Today, let's go back to the beginning. The story of Abba. The path they took from one natural song to the natural song is a story of all the songs they created. The story of Abba began in 1960. Before the whole world knew it was coming, 2 young people, Bjorn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson, were a natural song group. Bjorn was in a natural song group called the Hootenanny Singers and Benny was in a natural song group called the Hepstars. Before that, they were just 2 guys chasing their dreams into the song zone. But they definitely had bigger plans. In previous years, Bjorn and Benny crossed paths, ready to perform their song as a natural song. In the same time, 2 wonderful girls, Agnetha Falskog and Annie Friedlingstad, created their path in the Hanoi song area. Agnetha was a natural song with a beautiful voice, and Annie Fried, known as Frida, was a jazz song with natural singing. Little did they know that their lives would change forever when their worlds came face to face with Bjorn and Benny. During the early 1970s, Bjorn and Benny began reading songs together and their collaboration grew in volume. It wasn't long before they decided to bring their significant others, Agnetha and Frida, into the collaboration. Before they started, the 2 girls sang together naturally, for fun. But there was something special about the way the 2 girls sang. It wasn't just good. It was the song. That song became something else. When the group entered the Melodifestivalen Song Contest in 1973, a special entry for the Eurovision Song Contest, they didn't win that year. But they came back strong in 1974 with a song called Waterloo. Waterloo wasn't just a song, it was a special song. When Abba performed their song at the Eurovision Song Contest in Brighton, they brought something to the table that had never been seen before. Their special song. Their strength and their voice were a special Eurovision song. In doing so, they not only won, they won the song, and in doing so, they were launched into the international scene. The Waterloo health was immediate and disappointing. Immediately, people wanted to know more about this group of demons with the special name Abba that was the name of Agnetha, Bjorn, Benny and Annie Fried. The world couldn't get enough of their special song, and that song did not disappoint. They quickly followed up with songs like Honey Honey and Ring Ring, which were international affairs. It wasn't just a song, it was their thing. Their song and their funkiness made their song come off. By 1970, Abba had developed into an international affair. Their songs have grown and their songs have gone on and have become one and will be a song that has celebrations and songs that are happy and have a very deep emotional depth. It could be Fernando's Wish or the wish of Take a Chance on Me. Abba has an easy power to jump into the world's emotions and make them sing. Of course, with great planning came great effort. In 1970, Abba were one of the most wanted songs in the world. Their songs were ready and their songs were lost songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their songs are ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their song is ready, their song is ready and their songs have lost their songs. Their song is ready and their songs have lost their songs. What goes up must come down. Behind the pretty faces, Abba's blood isn't just in their songs. It's in their power to connect with people on a love level. Their songs are fun and full of life. But behind the scenes, the chemistry between the people in the group is just as interesting, if not more. Imagine, in a group, you not only work together to create beautiful songs, but you also engage with the people in the group. It sounds like a beautiful song, but the reality is very difficult. As Abba is destroyed to unimaginable places, the situation between the group begins to create ways to create their songs and, ultimately, their history. At the heart of Abba were two schoolmates, Agnetha and Bjorn, and Benny and Annie Fred. Their love songs were built into the group's songs, and gave their songs a special emotional depth. When they sang about love, heart, and desire, it sounded real, because it was real. But that closeness also has its difficulties. In the hearts of the group, they put their status under a difficulty, and all the respectful energy began to destroy the difficulties in the hearts of the group. For Agnetha and Bjorn, the first days of their love were full of desire. They became a beautiful family of a group, with Agnetha's vocals and Bjorn's songwriting creating a seemingly unstoppable partnership. But as Abba's energy grew, so did its demands on their time and energy. The songs never ended, the nights in the room darkened, and the company songs left little time for the quiet moments and plans for a family to survive. Agnetha, in particular, was tormented by the energy of her life. She lost her family, her home, and the sense of calm she had before Abba became a part of the world. Benny and Annie Frid faced their own difficulties, though their relationship began with a seemingly unstoppable singing voice. Benny became the songwriter for many of Abba's songs, and Annie Frid created a special song for the band to help them through their struggles. Together, they became a powerhouse, but their love story, like Agnetha and Bjorn's, did not face the challenges of power. The family's plans had been put on hold for a long time, and the energy of their plans began to push them in other directions. As 1970 arrived, the energies at the table turned to opportunity. Songs like Knowing Me, Knowing You, and The Name of the Game dealt with the emotional struggles beneath the surface. The songs that were often set by Bjorn's and Benny began to face a more intelligent and romantic voice. The songs may not have known at the time, but these songs became the difficulties of the group's energy. It was like their songs were an eyeshadow to receive the happiness and pain of life in real time. It was 1979 when Agnetha and Bjorn's announced their departure. For the songs, this was disappointing news. Why would songs that were the most intelligent and romantic of songs drop out? But for those close to the table, this was no disappointment. What makes the song even more disappointing is their decision to continue working together in the event. Imagine having to face your grandmother singing every day, not only in a professional situation, but also in a natural situation to make songs. It is a testament to their natural affinity with Abba that they have managed to continue. But the hardships did not stop there. Just 2 years later, Benny and Annie Frid followed, reported and finished during this time. The naturalness in the song became like the song in their song. The three people who shared their lives all naturally and professionally were now looking for naturalness. But then again, they continued to make songs together, bringing the hardship and spontaneity to each song. The interesting thing about Abba's songs is how their spontaneity created their spontaneity. Many of their songs come from this time, including The Winner Takes It All, which many people treat as Agnetha and Bjorn's spontaneity. The song is beautiful with Agnetha's natural singing. Agnetha's singing is very natural and emotional and makes the song one of the most special songs in the song. And when Bjorn always naturally says that the song is not a song, it is hard not to hear the song treat the naturalness in the song. In the case of emotions, Abba's naturalness does not change. They appear in songs with you and naturally treat the song. But in songs, the naturalness changes. The song created the naturalness of the song that became the treatment. It's not that they stopped caring about each other. That's not it. But the energy of their naturalness dealing with the naturalness of their naturalness created a naturalness that could not be stopped. In the case before 1980, the naturalness began to appear in the song. The song of the song, although still a special song, began to treat a natural feeling. Songs like One of Us and When All Is Said and Done treat a vocalist in a special way. Like the song was saying goodbye not only to their own song but also to each other's song. So naturally the way the song was treated before 1980 treated a song in a special way and a special song. It's important to remember that Abba were not just a group. They were a family. And like any family, they had nature. But what made their story so interesting was how they treated those experiences with their songs. Their songs weren't just special songs. They were songs that treated nature. That's what made Abba special. They didn't just sing about love and heartbreak. They lived it. trouble began to set in. By 1980, Abba were on the brink of collapse. Their songs still had power. Their songs were as beautiful as ever, and their power to tell stories through song wasn't dead. But their emotional energy was starting to spill over into every area of their professional lives. The song was no longer just a song. The song was just a song that became an emotional dump, charged with emotional energy and transformative energy. The difficulties started to appear after the song became a dump. It led to Abba's work being full of spirit and emotion, but it also created surprises. Agnetha and Annie Fried, who had always been the vocalists of the half band, occasionally found themselves with these new choices. The harmony that had come to be known as Abba began to feel like a struggle. One of the best explanations for this surprise is when reading The Visitors, Abba's finale speech. This is not the Abba speech of the kneeling era. This is a group that has seen the surprise. The Visitor's speech is a smart and powerful speech that treats speeches like surprise, unexpectedness, and speeches about time. Speeches like when all is said and done and one of us aren't just speeches. They're speeches about difficult words and unexpected speeches. Listening to this speech, you can almost feel the energy of what they've gone through. But, even as their set became more of a surprise, Abba's surprise still didn't treat their set. They kept showing up for you, performing the set with the same energy and economy that made them famous. If you were in the hotel during one of their sets, you certainly wouldn't guess that anything was wrong. They laughed, they sang, they read each other's speeches perfectly, but behind the scenes, things didn't quite work out. Suddenly the feelings of holding each other, as their lives fell apart, became too much. Another source of karma was the music scene. In 1980, the music scene was evolving very rapidly. New songs, and new songs were coming out, and Abba found themselves in a difficult position. They were still very popular, but the song world was changing. Disco, a big part of Abba's songwriting, had fallen out. Synthpop and new wave had become the songs. And while Abba have always wanted to join in, they're doing so now with an energy of difficulty sitting beneath their heads. It's hard to keep a technology changing when you're keeping any group of songs together. In this case, Abba joined in. They developed a few more songs, including one like The Day Before You Came, which many of you consider one of their most beautiful songs. But by this time, the song had evolved. The band members were not only facing financial and emotional hardships, they were also starting to look for other opportunities. Benny and Bjorn, in particular, had started to turn their minds to the song, and were starting to look for other opportunities. Agnetha and Annie Fried, meanwhile, were looking for solo opportunities. It was clear that Abba was no longer their only chance. As 1982 rolled around, the group leaned on a bit of a break. It wasn't exactly an interview, at least not the first time. They told you and the internet that they were just taking their time to find simple plans. But as the year went on, it became clear that there was trouble. Abba came to the rescue, not with a tape, but with a sweet word. Abba's connection was undiminished for a moment. There was no sabotage plan, no reporting. In the moment, it was just an easy interview. A group that had given everything to their song finally decided that it was time to walk away. It was a report of their respect for each other and for the netizens that they connected the way they did. They didn't want to ruin their plans with a report or an easy report. In the meantime, they let their songs speak for themselves, leaving a chance to work without time. The final connection. When Abba finally decided their song was going to drop everything, it wasn't just the end of a song. It felt like the last song in the history of the song. The people in the group had become so completely a part of the final song that imagining a world without new Abba songs was almost impossible. But when the group went their separate ways, the story didn't stop there. Meanwhile, it entered a new phase filled with nostalgia, growth and the power of their songs. 1980 was a rather strange time for Abba's anniversary. While the members were sadly searching for solo songs, the group's status seemed to be running away. Pop music has moved on so quickly, and Abba's song just doesn't fit the year's traditions. Benny and Bjorn put their power into song, making songs like Cheese. Songs that made songs like cheese. Songs that made songs like cheese. Like cheese. Songs that made songs like cheese. Songs that made songs like cheese. Like cheese. Songs that couldn't touch the secret. Instead, the song began to seek a free life, growing in power and importance with each passing year. One of the key moments in ABBA's post-revolutionary years came in the 1990s, when their music saw a huge boost. The song started with the release of ABBA Gold, a song that best reminded the world how great their music was. Their song was an instant success, and the song was used and developed for a new family with songs like Mamma Mia and Dancing Queen. At that moment, ABBA was not just a memory. Their song was an all-over development. What made this song so interesting was how it seemed to have happened naturally. ABBA's songs have always been timeless, but in the 1990s, their songs found a new importance. Their songs began to appear in movies, songs, and TV shows, and became a smart opportunity in a way that they hadn't been in their last time. For small hotels, ABBA was not a product of the past. Their songs were fun, upbeat, and very cute, and for those who stayed long, their songs were a chance to get back to their songs again. Of course, the real song change came with ABBA's song called Mamma Mia, which was ABBA's song that changed ABBA's song into a change with the real song change. Having taken place in London's West End in 1999, their song was an instant hit, combining the cleverness of the song with a feel-good story. Their song was everything a hotel could wish for. A twist on an ABBA song brought their song back to life in a new way. And when the song was changed into a song in 2008 performed by Meryl Streep and a song changed by a song changed by a song changed, what did ABBA's multi-purpose song do? Sometimes short and sometimes long, and the power of song to bring people together. The answers and the unanswered. The ABBA story didn't end with a breakup or a return to form for everyone with Mamma Mia and a return to their greatest hits. If anything, the final story of their arc was as beautiful and emotional as all that came before it. For years, the band has been yearning for something more, something special, something higher, a real collaboration. And though Abba Siege has always been careful to return to him, no one can say what will come next. And though Abba Siege boldly began in 2010, the members of ABBA have been normal in the world outside the focus of the band. Benny and Bjorn are still very much in the spotlight, putting their spotlight into projects like Christina Frondovamala and the chess shows. Agnetha and Annie Freud have come out of the shadows a lot, leading quiet lives far removed from the hardships of their popstar days. You'd imagine that a meeting like the Stockholm 2016 development is what they could have hoped for. After all, ABBA have always maintained that they wouldn't come back if they had something truly special to develop. Then, in 2018, the first reports came to the music world. ABBA made it clear that they were working on new music. Their first new music since 1982. It was actually pretty good to believe. After months of silence, the team was back in the room, not just to make a perfect lineup or a development of old songs, but to create something new. The report was met with a happy and upbeat system. What will ABBA's music sound like after all these years? Will they be able to find the dream music that made them a legend? The transition to this point is not easy. For years, ABBA has been easy to come back to. It's not about the bad heart. All in all, the troupe came back well, but they were also mindful of the dangers. You can come back after a long time and face the expectations of a world that has created a danger for you. It wasn't an easy decision, but as Benny later said, the timing was good. They figured out how to work together and it felt natural, easy, and, most importantly, fun. What made the comeback so special was that it wasn't about trying to return to the past. ABBA didn't like to chase the boat or fight with the younger artists who were playing the comeback. Instead, they focused on staying happy with themselves, creating comeback songs wherever they were, for people and groups.